Good day to you all. I'm Grazy and this is Northern Limmer's Bushcraft and Survival. Today's episode is going to be the next episode in the Alternative Fire Starter series. Stick around and see what we've got today. Okay, so today what we're going to be doing is getting the waxwood sticks that I've featured in a previous episode, where I processed it down along with some fat wood with a sharp spine from a cutting tool to make some wire dust. What we're now going to do is take that stick and then we're going to process it down in another way. We're going to use some fine shavings, and then we're going to be able to set it off on fire with a ferro rod or a lighter if you're not too confident in being able to do that. What will then happen is we'll watch it burn, and then we'll do a summary afterwards. So let's get to it then, shall we? So in my previous video when I mentioned about the alternative fire starters, I mentioned the waxwood. Now I've got here is just a piece of pine wood that I'd harvested a while ago, and I boiled them all in citronella wax. It doesn't have to be in a citronella wax, it just can be any. Literally heat the pot up with the wax in it. Once it gets hot, drop them in, it'll fizzle, and once it stops fizzling, you know that the whole thing's been soaked again. I checked my previous videos out for that. But what I done in my last video was I scraped it with the edge of my saw to get the waxwood dust. Okay. What we're now going to do is just process it in a different way. What we want fire. We want shavings. No, we don't waste any of our shavings because these can go for the burn. These are all wax infused already. That was just one that I was practicing on before. What I found was when I was using the Grazy Mark 1, it's quite a beefy, thick knife, and I found that it wasn't cutting them fine enough. So what I've done is I've switched to my Mora carbon, and for this, all we're doing is we're just getting the blade, and this is all about your different pressures here. So you need to practice with your pressure angles. Yeah. To get some nice fine shavings, just a nice shallow angle, and just get them curls. It's the same principle as making a feather stick. Okay, the harder you do it, the deeper the cut and the bigger the shaving. So it's just nice and fine. Just get them curls just like on a feather stick or a dart stick. So if you've got a large knife, quite a thick knife, this may hinder you a bit, which I've discovered myself. So I've just switched to the Mora carbon. This was only about £11 on Amazon, and this is something I've actually started carrying with us in reserve for stuff like this, because, like I say, the Mark 1's just great at what it does, considering it's like my own made knife, but it just doesn't cut the mustard when it comes to making fine shavings like this. So all I'm doing is I'm rotating it where them edges are. So from that last cut where them little grooves are, that's what I'm cutting next, just so I can get some nice, small, thin, curly shavings. Now, it gets frustrating when you're doing feather sticks because you don't want you try not to make them fall off, but with this one you are actually trying to make them fall off. So just keep cutting away. And then what we'll do is I'll get a nice bundle of them and then we'll set them on fire. So all I'm using is just the thumb push method. I'm keeping control of my knife with my right hand because I'm right hand dominant, and then gripping the wood with my grip fingers, placing it on the nice shallow. And then what I'm then doing is I'm controlling that angle with my thumb, and then I'm just giving it a little push, and then moving the knife forward nice and slowly, and then using the thumb just to give it that little bit of extra guidance, just so I've got full control over it. Now with anything that's soaked in wax, once it gets going, it will just burn until the wax is gone. And what I've found with wax, it's really, really reliable. So I've also made me fat rope with the wax. They're now coming in different colours now, because I'm running out of wax, and then I'm just using different colours just to spruce it up a bit. Okay, I'm going to whittle this down. Amount of it. I didn't have to, but like I say, I found it quite meditative and I got myself lost in it. So there we have it, a load of wax infused shavings of different sizes. We've got really small ones to the sort of a bit more chunkier ones, just so we've got a bit more burn time as well. And all I'm going to do is get my ferro rod. And then I'm going to use the scraper on my necklace that I've made, also available from Northern Limits Bushcraft and Survival. And then we're going to set it on fire and see how it works out for her. So here's what I made before. Put about half of it in, that's all I need for the pot I've got. Scrape my necklace, ferro rod. Shower that, I'm done. So there you have it. The next episode of the alternative fire starter done. So the waxwood stick. All that's how that's created is I battened down some wood, which I explained in my other video. If you haven't seen that, please check it out. And then I boiled it in some hot wax. It fizzles up, and then once it's gone, you know, it's good to go. What I've then done is I've got my Mora knife, because of the fact that it's a lot finer, and I can achieve them very, very small kills that I was looking for. Processing them down, getting some really, really fine ones, and getting some larger ones as well, just to give it a little bit more fuel once it's got going. Once you've got all that done, set it on fire with a ferro rod, no problem. Again, like I mentioned before, if you're not confident in using your ferro rod, keep practicing. But until then, use a lighter or use a method that you know works for you. If you've used too much, that's absolutely no problem, no point in wasting it. Pick all the bits up, put them in your tinder pouch, and then you can use them for your next fire. Remember, next fire mentality is always going to serve you well. If your fire goes out for whatever reason, or you've got to put it out, or even if you've got to just move on, or next time you go camping, at least you've then got some stuff processed down, good to go. Once you're done with that stick, put it in your tinder pouch and then take it away for the next time that you need to get the fire going. Next fire mentality. whatever you want to do, if you're not going to use them, don't waste them. Pick them up, put in your tinder pouch along with whatever you've got left of that stick, and then you can go and use it if your fire goes out for whatever reason. You need to put it out, or you just need to move on. Next fire mentality. For those who have subscribed to us already, thank you very much. I strongly mean it when I say I appreciate it. Those who are pushing stuff out my social media feed, brilliant. I can't thank you enough for it. So I would like to thank Bri and Rachel Jackson, because they're pushing my stuff out quite heavy now. Again, thanks very much, guys. Always appreciate it, like I always do. Good friends of mine. I also want to say congratulations to Ronnie and Margie Moffat for getting married. They got married just like literally the day before the lockdown kicked in. So congratulations. Absolutely, over the moon for you. I hope everything goes well. What I would like you to do now is I would like you to like, share, subscribe, and keep doing, push out everything, get them followers going for us. Social media's going well, this channel's going well, and then we'll look forward to the next episode of the Alternate Fire series, and then we'll get some more stealth camps or some more Vanators in when I can get the chance. I'm Grazy, this is Northern Limits Bushcraft and Survival, and as you can see, James Paget still hasn't showed his face yet. See you next.